Hello, welcome back to GOT. After reading hundreds of comments on foldable passports, I've come to find that people aren't hating the idea of passports. They just have different ideas of what the perfect passport is. Today, in this video, we're going to talk about what you guys think makes up the best passport. Let's go. Now, when you watch these passport videos, you find that most of them say it's going to be something similar to what this style is with the Surface Duo, that is wider versus taller, which is what you find in the S25 Ultra, quite a bit taller. And of course, the newer ones, the passports won't have this big old bar like we have on the Surface Duo. It's going to go pretty much end to end, giving it a larger screen and being able to shrink down the size of the phone overall. So what folks are saying is that I like it. They say it's the best form factor ever, where others think it's too large to fit in the pocket. Well, you got to be more specific when you say large, because this is large. This is very tall and difficult for me to put in a pocket. And then this right here, not quite as tall, but it's wide. So is that harder to put in a pocket? And when seeing those videos right there, it's pretty much the same with either one. So you can't really say too large, I don't think. And what I think is better than putting it in your pocket is putting it in a pouch. As you can see here, the wider format fits in the pouch, no problem. It just latches right in there, not an issue. And then same with the S25 Ultra, but actually the S25 Ultra, because it's so tall, fit a little snugger and is a little harder to get out because you can't grip it because it's not quite as wide. So for me in the pouch, the wider form factor actually works a whole lot better. Now, as we scroll through the comments that you guys have had, a lot of folks have says it's Surface Duo is nostalgia and they really like that form factor. The Pixel Fold, the original, was the perfect size. Oppo Find N was also mentioned as a perfect size. A lot of folks say that the shorter form factor is much easier to reach. And then when it comes to typing, you get much larger keys and it's easier to type with when typing. And of course, we can keep going back and forth on which is the better form factor as far as height, tall, wide. But in this video, we're going to go ahead and cover what you guys are saying is the perfect passport. So now looking at these screens here, you can see this is what people are talking about. They want the wider format because when you're on the cover screen, you get a lot more to view on what you're looking at. Now, of course, over here on the Z Fold 7 front screen, it may be, you can go see a lot further down, but you got to admit, this is a much more pleasant viewing if you're watching a video maybe on the front screen. So as you can see here in this portrait mode, you get a lot more viewing surface on the passport style phone versus the bar phone, at least. Now, folks, of course, are going to say, well, but you got to turn it. If you turn the bar phone, so we'll go ahead and turn them both. And as you can see here, what happens, do you get a larger surface? Well, you do get a little bit larger surface, but you can see it's still, because it is a bar phone, it's quite a bit more narrow than what you're getting here on the passport. Of course, if I lift that up there, it's really close to the same. As a matter of fact, there might have been some argument that this is a little bit larger. Now, you can actually go to full screen on this. Of course, you can do the same thing here. And when you do, you get a little bit larger. Now, again, remember, these bars on the side aren't going to be present when you get a passport foldable. This is an older style phone. And we did have a few people mention that if you have a Ultra, S25 Ultra, it is much larger, which you can see that it is, especially when you go to the standard size. It's actually larger than this passport. But again, the true passport will be a little bit larger, I think. Now, of course, the big difference on these devices is when you open them up. So let's get them each open here, and then we can see here. Now, opening them both up and setting them the same way, which is long-wise, you can see you do have a larger image on the Z Fold 7 than you would on a passport. But that's simply because the passport opens up to landscape mode. So in other words, if you were to really, truly open up the passport, it would open up this way versus the other way. And so if we turn this one into a landscape mode, now you can see the difference. The passport would be a little bit larger. Now, what I'm going to do just to get things in proper perspective, I'm going to trade this with the iPad, because the iPad doesn't have that seam down the middle that you get in the Surface Duo. So you can see here, there's a huge difference. Now you've got this opened up in landscape mode. Now, folks were telling me that when you go in landscape mode on the Z Fold, you do have a larger image, which is very true, but still does not compare to what you will get on a Passport phone. Now, just so you understand, the Passport, like we said, is going to be a little shorter than what we find here on the Surface Duo. And when you look here, you can see it. Passport Foldable is going to be very close to what we see on the iPad. It's going to be shorter, and then when it's open, it's going to be a lot larger video. Now just throw the Surface Duo in here just so you can see it's about the same. As you can see here on the Z Fold, you do get a larger image, but you also get larger bars than what you get over here on what would be the Passport size. I think it's more pleasant, and this is probably going to be lighter in the hand, I think, than what we're getting with the Z Fold. We'll have to see if they're going to go with the thinness or not. So folks are saying it's got to be a good multitasking experience. Well, you can see you've got pretty similar multitasking experience. You can do split screen, and of course on the Samsung you can do a little more by adding a third if you want to. And let's see, take something like the gallery here and you can split it. But of course, that's a little too small. Now, I can't do that over here on the iPad, but if you were, you can see it would still even be small. So if you want to do more than 2-app multitasking, which most people don't, and I venture to say that that's the case for, probably over 90% of the people do not do more than 2 apps. So let's say you're wanting to browse your favorite website here while you do some shopping on the other side here. You can see a little bit wider tablet actually gives you a little bit more advantage here, I believe. You can see a little bit better. So I believe you're going to get great multitasking capabilities on Passport Foldable just as well as you can the standard foldable. So all those folks concerned about multitasking, it's going to be there. I wouldn't worry about that. Now, another thing people want is good sound on their Passport. Unlike that of the Z Fold 7, got it turned. Z Fold 7, it just has the 2 speakers and they're not very well. I mean, you get better sound out of the S25 Ultra. So if you can get S25 Ultra out of the Passport style Samsung, that'll be great. However, I think it would be better if you got 4 speakers on there. There's no reasons why they can't put 4 speakers on these things. So the ideal Passport would have a much better sound system with 4 speakers, spreading that sound around the chambers. I think it could really sound great. People are really wanting better battery size out of this thing. I mean, you've got a lot of surface here, put larger battery, unlike that of the Z Fold, which is very limited on that surface. Let's open them both up. You can get a lot more battery out of a Passport style phone, especially if they go with the newer technology. There's really no reason to put a 4,400 milliamp hour battery in their new foldables. Hopefully out of the gate with the new Passport Foldable, they give us a larger battery size and go with the better technology like you get in these Chinese versions. I mean, you have a 5,800 milliamp hour battery compared to a 4,400. That's just ridiculous. And in the Vivo X Fold 5, they put a 6,000 milliamp hour battery. So there's no reason why they can't put a larger battery. So add that to the list of perfect things on the foldable. Now, the next thing to go with this large extra surface that you have here, people are wanting a pin, just like you got here on the Honor Magic V5. Add that pin to there so you can utilize it and do a lot of detail artwork. If you were into art, using a pin makes it a lot more usable and a lot more practical. Now, another thing that goes along with using a good pin is making it so that the phone is not wobbly. Let's say you have it flat on the table. You don't want your phone to be wobbling around because the cameras are in the back. You want it to be stable, like we've got here. This is really stable. You can use this pin, not a problem. You don't have the phone moving around on you like you do with the S25 or the Z Fold 7. So that leads us into the cameras, which is something we need. Something like the Pixel 10 Pro, where it goes a bar all the way across. Now, we've seen rumors of the iPhone Fold that's going to come out, and they seem to have that covered. As you see, they started that on the iPhone 17 Pro, as well as the Apple Air, the iPhone Air. And then even the Pixel 10 Pro Fold doesn't have that issue. You can lay it down and it doesn't wobble. So if they were to put a pin to it, that would be great. But the only one that's not is Samsung. So you definitely don't want to put your camera vertically. It really needs to be horizontal, preferably all the way across kind of look what we are seeing with the iPhone. Now, another thing we would like to see is this MagSafe like you have here with the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. This is excellent. We want fast charging and we want MagSafe. So fast charging, on these foldables with the larger battery, you need at least 45 to 60 watts charging. So they should get right up there with the competition and do 60 or 67 watt charging. That would be great. And then, of course, have fast charging on the wireless end with that snap. Now, that is, of course, something that we believe they're going to put in the new S series phones, and we hope that translates over to the new Passport Folds. Now let's talk about the don'ts. We don't want to see them compromise the cameras on the Passport Foldables. Put the flagship cameras in the phones right out the gate. Now, of course, me personally, I think they're going to fragment them in. They're not going to be quite up there in quality because they don't want to compromise the sale of their other foldables. Who knows? But foldables hold a very small piece of the market as it is. And then there's price. We don't want them to price the Passports out of the market. They're probably going to be somewhere around the normal foldable, maybe even a little bit cheaper from what I'm understanding. They're saying that Apple's foldable is going to be a lot cheaper than we might have imagined, which we're hoping that doesn't mean compromise. So that's my perfect Passport foldable, as well as a lot of you folks. It's got to be great fitting in the hand. It's got to also fit in your pocket when you put it in your pocket. It's got to have a great external screen for content consumption. It's also got to be great on the inside with a nice large format for video watching and content consumption, as well as great for multitasking. We want to make sure it has great cameras on the back. And we're talking about flagship, not compromises like the Pixel did with their Fold from their Pixel 10 Pro. And it's also got to have a nice bar across the top so that it's not wobbly. And we all want to see it have pin capabilities so you can actually really use it as a tablet. And then not to mention, we want great battery life. Don't go compromising like 4,400 milliamp hour battery here. We've got to have great stable batteries like we get from our Chinese counterpart foldables. And then lastly, don't price them out of the market. Make them affordable. So now it's time to hear from you. What do you think? Did I cover everything that you mentioned in the comments? Is there something I might have missed? Or maybe there's something new that came up that I haven't heard yet? Let me know down in the comments below. If you haven't seen my last video on comparing all the different foldables that are coming out here as far as the Passports, check out this video here. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you might want to do that now so you don't miss out on further content. Until next time, have a wonderful day. God bless.